Hi, and welcome to our virtual coaches and officials meeting for the Eastern Field Virtual Quiz 2020 that will be occurring this weekend. During this session, we will overview the schedule. We will review some information for quizzers, information for coaches, some guidance for officials on things that fall outside of the rules, and then we will also take a minute to remember why we are doing what we are doing this weekend. We want to start off with a schedule overview. Our virtual field quiz begins tomorrow night, May 14th at 7 p.m. We will have an opening session with our speaker, Aaron Basco. Aaron is a parent of two quizzers that currently quiz with the Mid-Atlantic District and have recently moved to the Virginia District. Registrants for each event may enter through the Zoom links that are published on their open room schedule. We will also have this session streaming on YouTube and Facebook, and links will be posted there and emailed to coaches as well. After the opening session, then we will be having a virtual ice cream social. In years past, we've had an ice cream social hosted by Eastern Nazarene College, but since we aren't together, we're encouraging you to bring your own ice cream to settle in and chat with some friends in the open Zoom rooms that we are providing. Again, you can find those links on the open room schedule in your packet of PDFs that you have been emailed. This will also be a time for tech support. Registrants can enter through the Zoom room on their open schedule. They can ask me questions about anything, and I will do my best to help them with any tech support or schedule needs. On Friday, May 15th, quizzing begins. We are not quizzing during the day so that students can complete schoolwork, AP tests, and other things that may have already been scheduled. We'll start quizzing at 6 p.m. Registrants will enter through the Zoom link on their divisional schedule. Some rooms will be streamed via YouTube or Facebook, and links will be posted on Facebook and emailed to coaches. We are asking that spectators do not enter the Zoom rooms. We would like you to use the live stream information provided so that we do not overwhelm the Zoom network or the Zoom rooms, or let's be real, our kids and our officials. At 9 p.m. after the quizzing is finished, the open rooms will go active. You can click on the links on the open room schedule that you were emailed. There are a variety of activities for students and families to participate in. You can sit and chat in a room for socializing. You can play quiz games. You can play some games together that are not quiz games. We're also going to have a room that is called our versus room. In this room, you can challenge another quiz team that you may not get to quiz during the event. So for example, if you are an Eastern quizzer and you would like to challenge a team that is in our open division, and it's a team from somewhere around the country, you can challenge them in this versus room. Please contact me and let me know if you want to schedule a time in the versus room. And you guys always all have my email. On Saturday, May the 16th, quizzing will continue, and it will continue most of the day. At 9 a.m., our quizzing continues. Again, use the links on your PDF schedules that you were given via email. During lunchtime, we will also have a few Zoom rooms that are open for kids to eat together and hang out if they would like to. This is not required in any way, shape, or form. You may need a break from your computer and just need to walk away. But if you love people and want to hang out in the Zoom room during lunch, please feel free to click on one of those links and join them for lunch. In the afternoon, the quizzing continues again, and you'll be able to find those links on your schedule. The JV tournament will be the first one that is seeded, and the seeding will occur at 3:15 p.m. in the afternoon. We will be emailing coaches the seeding for the tournament, and then you will follow the guidance in your schedule packets and proceed to your quizzing rooms. We will also have open dinner rooms again for you to socialize if you would like to. At 7:30 p.m., the varsity tournament will be seated during that 45-minute block, and you will receive an email to let you know where you stand in the tournament. At 8:15, that says varsity, but it actually means the open division will be seated as well, and coaches will be notified via email. On Saturday, May 16th at 9 p.m., we will have some open rooms with scheduled activities. Rooms will be facilitated by volunteers and others for socializing. There will be different activities that they can partake in and have a really fun time together. On Sunday, May 17th, we do not start quizzing until 2 p.m. to accommodate for people who are attending virtual church or have other activities on their day. The playoff brackets will begin at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. We ask that you enter through the Zoom room links. Again, these will all be live streamed. Most of our playoff rooms will have the ability to be live streamed, and you should look for those links for grandma, grandpa, or other parents and watch those activities via YouTube or Facebook. And then at 5 p.m., we will return to the original Zoom room where we started, which is my Zoom room. And you will click on the open schedule and you will look at that and you'll be able to find the link for that as well. The session is going to be streamed and it's going to be posted to Facebook as well as streamed on YouTube so that you can watch the awards and senior recognition. We will be giving awards to the top 10 individual students in each division, as well as first, second, and third place will be recognized in each of the divisions. Here are some fast facts for quizzers. Make sure, quizzers, that you take a deep breath, be patient with technology, and follow the schedule. Those are going to be things that help you out a great deal. Here's our quick reference guide for quizzers. Most all of you have already seen this guide when you were trained on the system during the last 2 Saturdays. First, make sure you stay with your team. That is a little bit harder in this format because we do have a virtual room and not physical rooms, but make sure you keep tabs on your schedule. You may want to have it pulled up behind your screen if you're using a computer, or you have the codes accessible, maybe just print it out so you have your codes accessible near you. When you enter a room, make sure you change your username to your team name, first name, and last name. Make sure your audio is muted because mute matters. Make sure your video is on and operational. The only exception to this is that if you have a laggy or slow internet connection, we do want you to turn your video off so that your internet connection is more crisp and clear and you can be heard. Make sure your chat pane is opened. You're going to be assigned a number based on the lineup that your coach submits. Make sure you know your number. Type your number into the chat window and get ready to click enter, but not quite yet. Once the Quizmaster types those dashes, you can jump by hitting enter. Once you're recognized, unmute your mic and answer, remute your mic, and then reset your number by typing it in the chat box and waiting for the Quizmaster. Keep in mind that your time starts once you are recognized. Here are some other pointers for quizzers. We want you to speak clearly so that you can be heard by the Quizmaster. If you're a captain or a co-captain, like we talked about in our practices, make sure you say challenge, 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 or appeal, 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 if that is what you intend to do. You can always withdraw your appeal, which is a handy feature in this format that is very similar to the may I have the question and answer on your page that we do in a traditional quiz. Make sure if you're in a house with other quizzers, coaches, or officials that you're in separate rooms. If you do need to be in the same room as somebody that's in the same quiz as you are, make sure that one or more of you have your device muted so we don't get feedback. Backgrounds are really, really fun to use, but just make sure if you're using a background that you can be seen and you don't disappear into the background. Make sure it is appropriate and it's not distracting to others. If by chance your technology fails at some point during the day, your voice goes out, your camera goes out, your computer crashes, your internet goes down, it's okay. Just re-enter the room and the Quizmaster and the coaches will deal with getting you back into the round. Again, like we said before, if you notice you're getting a lag, turn off your camera and that will help with your connection. Here are some coaching tips. We want you to remember to help your students have fun, support them, and above all, just like everyone, be patient with the technology. Here are some pointers on coaching in a digital format. Again, if you're in a house where there are other quizzers, coaches, or officials, make sure you're in different rooms. If your technology fails, come back in. Coaches, there should be no issue of you coming back in. You don't need to announce yourself when you re-arrive. Coaches should always have their cameras off. The only exception is during timeouts. You can turn it back on. This just helps lessen the distraction for students, and it also helps preserve bandwidth in rooms. Timeouts are going to be 2 minutes long, and as we've gone over this in our practice sessions, here's just a reminder. If my team calls a timeout, I get to take the first minute of the timeout to coach out loud in the Zoom room. The other team can go to back channel communication if they would like to. They also have to mute their device. So I would mute my computer so that I couldn't hear anything that was coming out of my speakers. The scorekeeper will also keep theirs unmuted so they can hear everything that's going on, but the Quizmaster will mute their device as well. The scorekeeper will type in the chat when it's time to switch at the 1 minute mark. They may give you a sign like this. They may tell you to come back in, but they will always type it in the chat feature so that you know that it's time to come back in. And then during the 2nd minute, you can utilize back channel communication while the other team coaches out loud. Some teams may have developed a different system for this, which is fine, and they can use that full 2 minutes. If they do not want to use the out loud format, they can do that as well. We are not utilizing breakout rooms. Breakout rooms are not compatible with Chromebooks, and we have several of you that are using Chromebooks that you are using from your schools. So we want to make sure that we are respectful of that, and we do not have you guys using Chrome, doing something that you're not able to do just like everybody else. Couple of things on coaching in a digital format. Make sure you encourage the students using the mic between questions, just as you would in a traditional quiz. Maybe a good job, keep it up, jump faster, those kinds of things. Help keep the quiz flowing and within time limits by not doing things that are going to slow the flow of the quiz down. If a student's technology fails and they drop off the call, you may sub in your 5th quizzer without taking a timeout. However, when that quizzer rejoins the quiz, you will have to take a timeout to put that individual back in. They can also go back in if there's a quiz out or error out. Back channel communication, which is text message, Instagram, GroupMe, Discord, whatever you guys are using, that can only be used during timeouts. You cannot use it during questions or between questions. Make sure you check your scores at the end of the round. Just like when you would leave a quiz area and you would sign off on that score sheet, you're also going to want to verify the score that the scorekeeper has so that the statistics are right and the awards are accurate at the end of our event. So make sure that you check your numbers with the scorekeeper before leaving the Zoom room. Once you leave the Zoom room, those numbers are turned in. They are a part of the official record. Let's talk about some official business. As officials, our guidelines are love students, serve students, and create a really fun environment for them in each of our Zoom rooms. Your Zoom room is your home, and you can create such a loving and wonderful environment for your students. I encourage you as a quizmaster and official to take time and think about how you want your Zoom room to feel. I have a greeting slide in my room that says Melissa's Castle, so that when everybody comes in, they know they're entering a Disney Wonderland and Mickey Mouse gives them some directions. Think about how you want to personalize your Zoom room as well. The role of the quizmaster, obviously, like we have said 12 other times in this video, if you're in a house and there are other coaches or officials, make sure that you're in separate rooms. If your technology fails, re-enter the room and resume the round. You will have to wait for some others to come back into the room, especially since you're the host, and if your room closes, it may close the whole entire round. So just come back, re-enter the room, resume the round. If there is a significant technological issue that you're having to work out, just make sure you hit me with a text message or an email so that I know what's going on in another room. I will be quizmastering during the entire event, but I will be able to help with some tech troubleshooting if necessary. Quizmaster's camera should remain on at all times. Between rounds, you can turn it off while you need to take a break while folks are entering and exiting your room. During timeouts, the Quizmaster needs to mute your device speakers. So most of us are using computers. So I just push the mute key on my laptop and then I can take care of some things that I need to do. And the scorekeeper will let me know when it's time to come back in. Where technology is concerned, this is really important to me and really important for the tenor of our event, is that students can't be held responsible for technological glitches that they are experiencing. So always give grace to the quizmaster. If you can't understand the quizzer, feel free to say, can you repeat what you just said to me? Or if they say that your voice is cut out, and feel free to repeat what you said prior to their jump. I want to always err on the side of grace to the quizzer. And if you think something doesn't make sense in the way they're saying it, ask them to repeat it or ask them to speak up or say it again. Use the waiting room feature on Zoom if possible. I have a waiting room and it is really helpful to keep the flow of traffic going in and out of my room. I always can bring people in when I want to bring them in instead of having them drop in the middle of a question. Kind of like that door on your quiz room. The waiting room is a great way to keep people out and let people in. It also keeps other quizzers out until their round is set to begin. You are also responsible for asking spectators to exit your room if necessary. You are under no obligation to allow spectators in your room unless there is a specific situation that you've been told about by me. Links are going to be provided for some rooms who are streaming into Facebook and are streaming into YouTube. This system was not designed to have a ton of spectators in each quiz room, and we are going to respect that, the comfortability of the students, the comfortability of the quiz masters. It's a lot to look at on the screen all at one time, so we want this to be as streamlined as possible. So know that there is no provision for spectators to join you in your quiz area, and if they need to be asked to leave, you are free to do so. You will be provided with field level quiz sets. Make sure you use them in sequential order. So your quiz sets may be numbers 10 through 20. Make sure you use them in order 10 through 20. But you know what? It's okay if you don't. They're all unique sets. When you finish with the sets, dispose of them and do not distribute them to anyone else based on our quiz question distribution rules. You will also be provided with replacement and tiebreaker sets. The scorekeeper role is a little different in this format because the scorekeeper does not have a dual role of scorekeeper and content judge. You are purely a scorekeeper and statistician. Your camera should not be on during a round. You can stay muted or you can unmute during the round. You're responsible to keep accurate score as well as the 5-second timer and the 30-second timer. The 5-second timer, you may have a quiz master who says, I'll do the 5-second myself because that is a little easier on their end. By the time you push record, then the 5 seconds may already be up. Make sure you announce time loudly for all to hear, and you may have to repeat it if students are talking at the same time. At questions number 5, 10, and 15, make sure that you type the score in the chat or announce it out loud. I actually find that both is helpful, but the one that is the most helpful is having it typed into the chat so that students and coaches can quick reference it as well. Make sure the coaches agree with the score and the individual student scores at the end of the round. And then at the end of the round, you're going to be reporting those scores via email to me and to our stats keeper. Scores are reported by replying all to an email that you're sent. You'll be sent an email on Friday, and for every round, you will just need to open that email, reply all, and drop the stats from each round into this cap sheet. This is a simplified version of your score sheet. You will put the round, the room you're in, numbers 1 through 9, the round that you are quiz mastering or officiating, and then you'll put the quizzer number of right and the quizzer number of wrong. So quizzer number 1 may get 1 right and 3 wrong. So you put 1-3. The second quizzer may get 2 right and 2 wrong. So it will be 2/2. And you're going to do that for each of the teams and each of the quizzers. Then you're going to give the final numerical score and the winner of the round. We don't want to see students' scores represented as a 90 or an 80 or a 60. We want the number of right and the number of wrong. So like 4 and 1, 1 and 2. That is what we want for the scores. Finally, as we wrap up, and this has been a long video and I appreciate you guys sticking with me, we want to remember who we are. So I'm going to read this statement and just share a little bit with you. The Eastern Field is committed to serving students through the Ministry of Youth Bible Quizzing. We strive to create a family-like atmosphere for students, families, and the adults who serve. Even though we are experiencing unprecedented times, we are reminded that doesn't change who we are. We are created to love and serve God, love and serve others, and to live in community. While community is way easier in person, we are Eastern. We make everything work because we have an unmatched love rooted in Christ's example. Thank you for all you're doing this weekend. You are appreciated more than you know. And I want to make sure you hear that from my heart. And spending time going through these things with you is a way that you can watch this at your leisure. But it also respects that you're giving an entire weekend to doing this event with your students. And normally we have an awesome coaches and officials meeting where we talk about things and we ask questions. But this video today helps us to remember who we are, why we're doing it, and who we're serving. But it also gives you the ability to watch this and maybe watch it a couple of times if you need to be familiar with the material. Know that you are loved, know that you are appreciated, and that I cannot wait to see you all this weekend. Have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow.